Yeah, hi, Savage Sam here on behalf of COAST2COASTRC here in Australia and Tekno RC. Here today we're just going to discuss the two-wheel drive conversion kit we've put together, which we've basically called an EB210. It's built out of an EB410 kit and three conversion components. The three conversion components you have in front of you here, which is an aluminum chassis of 3.2mm thick. It's been machined out for the correct flex. A top deck that we've had built by Berserk RC, and rear braces. Using an EB410 kit, we were trying to build a Tekno two-wheel drive using as many parts out of the kit as possible. We've achieved that by three components that are required to make a two-wheel drive. The only other two components required is a slipper diff. Now we've gone with the AE B64D and a 95mm AE shaft. We tried the Tekno shaft, which had the battery a little bit forward, the motor a little bit forward. We found to get everything as far back as possible and get the balance right for a two-wheel drive, these two AE components fitted the bill. I'm sure you could use a Shell slipper diff or other slipper diffs that are on the market, but for this exercise, that's what we've used. With the car itself, when you build the car, you need to modify 5 components out of the original 410. They're all small modifications, namely the front servo mount. You have a low profile and a high profile servo mount. I chose a low profile servo mount, and the only modification on this component is to cut the tab off that would allocate usually for the EB410 battery mount. So you just cut that tab off, that bolts right into place. With the guard on this side of the car, at the bottom of the aerial point, there's a key on plastic that keys into the chassis itself. We've made our ridge a little wider than what the Tekno was. So all you need is an X-Acto knife. Just cut the bottom off so that it fits flush. We've kept it so the fronts come over and it's nice and tight across the car. Using whatever servo mount you don't use in the front for your servo, you create your battery strap for the rear of the car. It keys in both locations, on the side and the front of the chassis. What I found is by cutting it and modifying, just taking this front section off, if you use a nylock nut here, it makes it a lot stronger. The car is rigid in that way. We tried screwing just through the bottom without the lock nut and found that over 10 or 12 packs, the brace would just get a little bit loose in that corner. So obviously just the nylock nut on that side and a 3mm screw through this side. The biggest modification you have to make to the plastics for this conversion kit is separating these two components. Obviously the brace that's usually at the front needs to be separated, so you create a rear brace and a servo mount brace. As you can see in the picture here, cutting the servo mount off, it's only a small section just to hold your servo in place. If you're using a high profile, it still mounts on top. If you're using a low profile, your servo mounts directly into this point. Just getting that, I will have photos up so you've got close-ups of how it's modified. It's pretty simple. It can be cut with a hacksaw, a Dremel, a file. You know, basically you've just got to separate the components. With the rear brace, it's a little bit more complex in the sense that it's got to be cut into a certain point to be able to stop the battery coming in, but the section at the rear of the car has to key into the bottom of the bulkhead underneath what was the original mounting points. With these components, these brass components, they go into place and they bolt the original hold for the rear bracing to the center brace, which gives the car a connection point from the rear to the front. We could have gone and made a purpose-built rear brace, but we were trying to keep it as minimized as possible as far as parts go. So anyway, that is just a quick look. As I said, I will have photos up and there'll be other videos in regards to this build. This is just the introductory to the modification of parts. Thanks for watching.